You're a broken machine, bent on making me unclean. Broken machine, a sinister contraption, forces unseen. Give me a distraction. There's a bit more nightmare coming down from upstairs. There's a line in the sand and the force in my hand tonight. Broken machine, a sinister contraption, forces unseen. Give me a distraction. I never wanted to know the things that you can show, so I'm walking away tonight. Broken machine, a sinister contraption,
Wow. Okay, so I had to just realize I had the mic off there. So I have to do this all over again for my YouTube guys. Sorry about that. $116,000 Bitcoin is where we're at. And I have a Fibonacci level here that says that, 1618 says that Bitcoin can get up to like $120,000 here, okay? And then the 2618 is saying that we could see $132,000 Bitcoin. And then the 3618 is also saying that we could see $146,000 Bitcoin. And, $146,000 it seems like unbelievable, okay? But we have this thing called the pi cycle top indicator, which is this green line that I threw in here, and this is the indicator pi cycle top indicator. Whenever we have this pi cycle top indicator, we have to have Bitcoin get up to this green line before we can consider us being topping out here on Bitcoin. Okay, now I gotta basically get rid of some of these other indicators here, and what I have here is just the pi cycle indicator. This orange line has to catch up to the green line before we can top out on Bitcoin. And of course, the price also has to catch up to that green line before we top out on Bitcoin. This pi cycle indicator has worked in previous cycles here before. It predicted the top of Bitcoin in April 2021, okay? Within a few days here, where we saw like the orange line catch up to that green line, the exponential move here. And that didn't happen until like April 2021. And if you listen to the pi cycle indicator, you would have been selling your Bitcoin at like $63,000, which was pretty much the top of Bitcoin at that time. Except we had a little bit of a fluke here, where in November of 2021, we actually came up to $69,000 Bitcoin. Okay? But the pi cycle indicator said that, yeah, you should have been selling your Bitcoin in April of 2021, and you would have been doing all right. Okay? And then also this pi cycle indicator was also useful back in 2017. Where we saw the orange line once again below the green line throughout the bull run, all throughout 2017, and it wasn't until December of 2017 where we saw the orange line catch up to the green line, and you would have been selling your Bitcoin at like $16,000, $17,000, maybe $19,000 had you listened to this pi cycle indicator. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that look where the pi cycle indicator is right now. Okay, the orange line is at $98,000. This orange line has a lot of explosive action it needs to do to catch up to that green line. And the green line is saying that, hey, Bitcoin at $172,000 is where we need to see it at before we can even say that this is a top. Okay, so I think $170,000 Bitcoin is still possible. I actually think $200,000 Bitcoin could be possible. I know some people like to throw out that round number in there. I see why not. Why can't we have $120,000 Bitcoin? Let's see. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, I had the mic off. I got a little bit too excited starting this live stream here. With Bitcoin being at $116,000. I forgot to turn the mic on. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to figure that out real quick here. I actually need to grab my ice water, because I was planning on making this like maybe an hour or two live stream here. So let me go ahead and grab my water here. All right. So much to do trying to get this live stream started here. I forgot to grab the water, and I forgot to turn the mic on, but I got the mic on, and now I need to go grab my water. So let me go ahead and do that real quick here. I left in the other room. All right. Back with you guys, and let me just do a quick sound check, make sure that everything is that you guys can actually hear me. Yep, I got the sound check. All right. Let's take a look at some of these altcoins. See what did pretty well out there, and we'll take a look at some of these other coins on the chart. Right now, Bitcoin having a stellar day. Ethereum having an even better day, up 6.9%. Solana is trying to catch up with the rest of them, but it's at 4.7%. Sui actually had a pretty good day. Sui up 13.4% today. I was actually in a leverage long on SUI, 20x leverage, and I was up like 300% because SUI, you know, look what it did today, up 13%. But I got on that SUI SUI long, not yesterday, but the day before. So I guess it was like a kind of like a swing trade, not really a day trade, but you know, in 3 days, you know, up 300%. That's a pretty good, you know, performance, if you, in my opinion. Cardano up 8.5%. Aerodrome up 8.5%, XRP up 5%. A lot of these cryptos are up 5%. Some of these AI cryptocurrencies, like AI16Z is up 15%, Virtuals up 13.8%, AIT up 12.9%. These are some cryptos that I'm in right now. They're having better days, I'll tell you, than gold and silver and oil. Gold is only up 0.01% today, and silver's up 0.3%. Oil is barely up 0.01%. So yeah, I look at some of these other assets here. Crypto's having a better day than the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. Let's see. Yeah, S&P 500 is only up 0.27% today. But let's take a look at SUI. Okay, SUI currently trading at $3.48, up 13.3% today. I'm gonna have to get rid of the pi signal indicator that no longer applies to this to this asset here. Okay, the pi signal indicator is an indicator that only works with Bitcoin. Just letting you guys know, and you have to be on the daily time frame when you're doing the pi signal indicator. But I have some previous chart work here on SUI. SUI is looking like is performing kind of like it did back here in April when we caught some bids here, and we saw SUI go from like $2 all the way up to like $3 and then $4. I think we might see something similar to that. SUI was in a descending channel for like the longest time here, frustrating a lot of SUI investors and traders. But we were starting to get a little bit excited here on SUI once we saw it breaking out of this downtrend, this descending channel that it's in with these yellow lines here. And, you know, around like July 4th, July 5th is when we were like, okay, be on the lookout for SUI, because SUI is not only breaking the downtrend, but it's bullishly back testing the downtrend, and it could be off to the races on SUI. And I have the previous, I have some Fibonacci analysis, right? Measuring from the top here that SUI was at like $4.29 back in May 12th here. And then we came all the way down to like $2.03. What was that? Yeah, $2.03 on June 22nd here. I'm sorry, I gotta take that back. We didn't come down to $2. We were at $2.03 back in April. Okay, so I just took that whole Fibonacci move here. Okay, and I was measuring and targeting this $3.50 level here, which is the 0.65 retracement, and the 0.618 at $3.42. Other professional traders and investors have looked at those levels here, and that's why you saw like earlier today in SUI we were at kind of hovering. We popped up, but we came up to like $3.42. But now SUI is slowly creeping up to this $3.50 level. Let me go into the 5-minute chart, so maybe, or 15-minute chart, so you guys can see that. Okay, yeah, here on the SUI chart, right? We caught the bids in the late morning here, and then we kind of went sideways near this $3.42 level, and that's basically where that 618 retracement is at. But now we're going up to this $3.50 level where the 0.65 retracement, that's still part of the golden pocket here for SUI. And as I zoom back out again, so I think levels going forward for SUI, the next take profit target if you want to stay in the SUI trade is this going to be the 786 retracement at $3.80. That could be where SUI takes a breather and goes sideways for a little bit before it tries to go back up to that $4.28 level here. Those are the upside targets for SUI. Downside targets, you can still use the Fibonacci retracement. If SUI, for some reasons, loses its momentum, we could come down to this 0.5 retracement at $3.16, or maybe even come and revisit the 0.382 at $2.89. But yeah, if you're a day trader, you'll probably be taking your profits right now. And if you're swing trading it, you're trying to see if you can push this thing up to $3.80, but you're probably going to keep your stop loss tight. Maybe keep it at like $3 or $3.16, and you know, if you do get stopped out and you're still bullish on SUI, you just re-enter it, okay, and then put the stop loss a little bit lower, maybe at like $3. But yeah, these are the levels that you're looking for here for SUI, okay, using the Fibonacci. All right, let's move on to some of these other cryptos here. Ethereum having a pretty spectacular day here. Currently trading at $2,976, about to hit $3,000. Did we already hit $3,000 on Ethereum? Oh my God, we did actually. We actually hit Ethereum $3,000, and then that was the very top. So Ethereum has done the thing today. It hit the $3,000 psychological target. But using, once again, the Fibonacci analysis here, I measured from where we topped out here and on June 11th, where we got up to like $2,880 Ethereum, okay, to the low that we came down to, the swing low at $2,100 Ethereum, and it gave me these targets to look out for. We got past the 0.786 retracement at $2,700, and we were just waiting for Ethereum to just climb back up to the 2880 level like it did back here in June. But now that we have this Fibonacci analysis here, we can still use this to the upside. If Ethereum continues climbing up to higher prices here, we do have a 1618 that says that Ethereum could get up to like $3,300. There could be another 10% move up in price from where Ethereum is right now. And then we have even further price targets. We could see Ethereum get up to like that 2618 level at $4,107 here. Okay. That might be later on in 2025. This $3,300 Ethereum could possibly happen later on this week, tomorrow, tonight. Who knows? I'm thinking $3,300 Ethereum could be coming on deck and coming into play later on in the month of July. And you know, I had somebody ask me, you know, the other day, because they thought that, you know, Bitcoin and crypto was, you know, kind of had its time and topped out and whatnot. And this person asked me, like, Damien, why is Bitcoin going up? I didn't know there was still money out there going into Bitcoin. And I told him, I said, hey, I mean, you're sitting on cash right now, right? And he's like, yeah. And I told him, yeah, you're the reason why Bitcoin's going to continue going up. And he said, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, because as long as you and everybody else that lost faith in Bitcoin continues to sit in cash, you guys are the future buyers of Bitcoin in the future, because you have cash and you're not using it. In the meantime, Bitcoin's going up. So, like, how much higher does Bitcoin need to go before you start taking a nibble at crypto again? And he didn't really know the answer to that question. He wants to sit it out and wait until the next, you know, bear market down cycle. But I'm like, that might, you know, you might have to wait until next year or 2 years from now for us to hit the bear market low. Usually the way that things go is we see Bitcoin and crypto top out in like November or December of the year after the halving. So the halving was last year, and now this is the year after the halving, but usually Bitcoin tops out in like November, December. It might get front run, you know, we might top out in like September, October, but I mean, just looking at history, that seems to be the case. And sometimes it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy where people just hold on to their Bitcoin and crypto waiting for November or December, and then they click the sell button. So that might actually prevent the selling that would be needed to actually cause Bitcoin to go down in price. But yeah, it's a stellar day. We're trying to look for upside targets here on Ethereum. I think Ethereum could go up to $3,300. We might come and revisit, for whatever reason, if we come down, we might come revisit $2,700 all over again, which is where that 786 retracement's at. More likely, if we were to come down, we'd probably hit this golden pocket where we traded at $2,600 Ethereum for like the longest time. But I don't think we're gonna see $2,600. We might see 27 again, but 26, I don't know. I don't know. I think we've done a lot of damage to the bears, a lot of damage to the short sellers out there. I think they're gonna lick their wounds, and they're probably not gonna be so aggressive on the shorts now, because Bitcoin is making new all-time highs, and that's gonna cause the altcoins, as you already seen, to go up in value here. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin dominance, because I saw Bitcoin dominance has been going down the last few days and couple of weeks here, but now I'm a little bit curious if it's still going down. And wow, okay, Bitcoin dominance is still going down just a little bit. It's down about roughly 0.08% today, but it went down significantly yesterday. So that means the altcoins are catching their bids right now. And we've seen another red candle on Tuesday here, and some more red candles on Monday, and another red candle. This is mean that Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin's going up, the altcoins are actually having more money going into them than Bitcoin. Because this is measuring the total market cap of Bitcoin. And, you know, I mean, the total market cap of crypto, and Bitcoin has 64% of that market cap. But it's falling. So, where could Bitcoin dominance go next? I'm going to go ahead and turn the moving averages now. I'm not going to get all too excited until Bitcoin dominance gets down to the 200-day moving average. Okay, that's going to be when I know that we're actually in an altcoin season. We had kind of like a hint of it in May, where we saw Bitcoin dominance come down very, very rapidly and brutally during the second week of May, when Bitcoin actually hit 100. I think Bitcoin hit like $112,000 for the first time around that time period. And we only came down to the 50-day moving average on the Bitcoin dominance. We haven't even come down to the 50-day moving average as of now, and Bitcoin is at what, $116,000, $117,000 right now. All right, Bitcoin's actually at 115,900 right now. I mean, if we get more money going to the altcoins here, we could push this market, we could push this dominance all the way down to this 200-day moving average. And then that's what I would say we're in an altcoin season. Because do you guys remember how things felt like back in December of 2024? That's when Bitcoin dominance actually came below the 200-day moving average. That was, you know, felt like an altcoin season, right? We all felt like it was an altcoin season. Meme coins were doing good. AI coins were doing pretty well. It felt like an altcoin season for like a month or two, okay? And that's all we got, okay? When you see this market cap dominance for Bitcoin actually go below that 200-day moving average, then you should start thinking about pushing the sell button on your altcoins, in my opinion, okay? Because, yeah, that would have been a good time to sell your altcoins, right? Back in November, December of last year, okay? And then Bitcoin regained the 200-day moving average, and then it came back up. And Bitcoin's been climbing up ever since on the market cap dominance. But yeah, we could get the beginning of an altcoin season coming up if we can get to that 200-day moving average. Now, just looking back at history here, okay? Back in like 2021, this was an altcoin season, okay? And yeah, we did see like market cap dominance for Bitcoin at like 60% in like February, going into March of 2021. And that's when Bitcoin was going below the 200-day moving average on the market cap. But look what happened to market cap here, okay? This was an altcoin season. Not only did we lose the 200-day moving average, but we came down harsh and vigorous. This was like when Ethereum was going up to like $4,000 for the first time, okay? Back in April of 2021. And a lot of these low coins were catching bids. And look how far down we came below that 200-day moving average, okay? Up until like May of 2021, I think, you know, Ethereum hit $4,400 a coin, and Ethereum like ate up a lot of the market cap dominance at the time, and that's the reason why we came so far down here on the BTC dominance. And then, you know, we crept back up during the summer, came back down, and then it wasn't until like October of 2021 did Bitcoin market cap dominance actually get above the 200-day moving average, and that should have been your warning sign, right? Once we lose the 200-day and then we come back to the 200-day, that's probably a good time to get out of your altcoins, okay? But we want to see something maybe similar to this, where we lose this 200-day moving average, this red line on the market cap dominance for Bitcoin, and we stay below it for a long time. That's how you get your altcoin season that you guys all been waiting for. And you might get that this year. You might. You gotta get below that 200-day. We haven't done that ever since all throughout 2025. We've been above the 200-day, this red line on the market cap dominance here. We gotta get below it. Okay. In order for me to justify that we're in an altcoin season. What up, Joe? I see Joe Trader Intuitions in the chat here. Joe saying it's raining pretty hard. Oh man. I'm up here in the Northeast, you know, near Boston, and it's raining pretty hard. It was raining pretty hard here in Boston. I saw that there was some flooding on the highway, so they had to shut down the highway over here in Boston. So I'm pretty sure there's pretty hard hit parts in other parts of Boston and Massachusetts, but that was pretty hard to see. I mean, I hope people were able to get to where they needed to go earlier today and be safe out there. But yeah, lots of rain and thunder. Yeah, I don't think we had thunder. We had thunder like I think a day or two ago. See, Darren's in the chat. Good to see you, Darren. Don't forget to leave a like button if you haven't already. Let's try to see if we can get the likes to match the amount of people in the live stream right now. Appreciate that. And I see MMA Esquire also joined the TikTok here. All right. Muaz Baker, you said you're glad that you bought Polkadot at $3 to $4. And then something about $14.50 here. You think Polkadot's going to go to $14.50? I mean, we can take a look at Polkadot real quick if that's a request. So we're looking at Polkadot currently trading at $3.84, up 6% today. Polkadot could be a potential swing trade or even a day trade. This thing has been beaten down. I mean, we've seen Polkadot back in December as high as like 11, 12 bucks. Yeah, $11.63. I think it's been high. Has it been higher than that? Yeah, $11 is the high water mark here. I'm not sure what you were saying about $14, Muaz. But yeah, $3.83 Polkadot. Polkadot's below the 200-day moving average, and you got 100-day, 50-day acting as resistance. So going forward, if you're in a long on Polkadot, right, you strategically put your stop loss below this swing low here at $3. You know, put your stop loss below $3, and as you climb up to higher prices, you might get rejected off the 50-day at $3.91 if you haven't done that already. And then you got the 100-day at $4.17. That could be another take profit target. And then the 200-day at $4.73. Those would be my take profit targets for Polkadot going forward here. Let's see. I think downside, right? I'm not sure if there's going to be a downside as long as Bitcoin's climbing up to the upside here. But like I said, you probably put your stop loss right here. But then as you're climbing up, you can probably put your stop loss and raise it probably to this next candle wick low here at like $3.24. And just walk your stop loss up. And eventually your stop loss will get probably triggered in profit. But I think take profit should be at this 100-day moving average at $4.17, and then the 200-day at $4.73. All right, let's see. I got my buddy Idris in here. What are you saying? Look at Sahara. You want me to take a look at Sahara? Okay. And then let's see. Idris, you're asking me what to buy now. Seems like crypto is a good place to be buying. Oh, I think almost all of them are in the green right now. John, you're saying that you're in the top 10% of crypto of XRP holders out there. You have 666,000 XRP. Wow, that's crazy. We have an XRP whale in the chat. Is that what's going on? I think whale would you have to have like 1 to 3% in the top 3% of any particular crypto, but that's a lot still. And then Clips is asking me, do I think altcoin season will be starting soon? I think it's on its way there. We have to see altcoins get a lot more money pouring into it, and maybe Bitcoin kind of chill out. I mean, Bitcoin can steadily climb up, but we just need to see the altcoins outperforming Bitcoin, right? That's how you get an altcoin season, right? So right now the altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin's only up 4% today, but some of these other altcoins like Ethereum up 7%, Sui up 12%, Cardano up 8%, XRP up 5%. I mean, as long as you're outperforming Bitcoin, you're in an altcoin season. But you have to do it consistently. It can't just be 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks. We want to see like a month or two, preferably maybe 6 months of altcoins outperforming Bitcoin, and that's how you get your altcoin season that we're all looking for. All right, Mar wants me to take a look at Pengu. Let me go ahead and write these things down. Appreciate that. So we'll look at Pengu, and then we'll look at Sahara. Let's see. Let me just see. Do I think altcoin season will start soon? And then you said Pengu, Sahara. Yeah, I think those are the requests for now. All right, let's look at these cryptos you guys requested. Pengu. Pengu, wow, it's up 24% today. It's really good. But that's kind of expected out of a meme coin. Meme coins can do things like that, go up 25% in one day. They could also go down 25% in one day, so you gotta be careful with these meme coins. Just put that disclaimer out there. But I think Pengu has been catching some bids, mainly because they're now a validator on the Solana network, so they're actually a meme coin that's making money. Okay. And where could Pengu go next? Well, we had Fibonacci analysis here on Pengu, right? And I just measured from like where Pengu was at 0.017 pennies here. I think I measured from like the top here, yeah, back in May, down to the bottom at 0.003 pennies, which is where Pengu was at back in April. Okay, and I have a 1618 that could give us a target that we're looking for Pengu to go up to like basically 2.5 pennies, 0.026 pennies. Should be your price target. But also, I also drew out a falling wedge here on Pengu. Pengu was in a falling wedge, which could be, you know, almost viewed as a bull flag here. And I had the measured move, right? Looking something like this, right? From the bottom here in April to the top here. And this is all part of trend analysis. If the trend stays intact here, you just take this measured move, right? The flagpole out of the flag, and you put it to like where we broke out on Pengu. And this is saying that, you know, Pengu could get up to like 0.023 pennies. So I think there's still like maybe like a 10%, maybe a 30% gain from where we are right now on Pengu. But if Pengu for some reason loses its momentum and comes down for whatever reason, then we still have my Fibonacci analysis that we can use here. And we might come right back down to the 0.786 retracement at 0.014 pennies, which is where we were trading at sideways throughout the 4th of July weekend here. So yeah, if Pengu does come down for whatever reason, we could probably get some support off of this sideways trading action back here in 4th of July. Okay. Sigma coin. I do not look at things that require deck screener. That is how I end up losing my stream on TikTok. TikTok will shut my live stream down. I can't do that. I'm assuming that you want my live stream to go down if that's what you're requesting. So I'm assuming you're one of the bad guys out there that wants to see this live stream get taken down, and I'm not going to do that. Mara wants me to take a look at AVAX. Let me go ahead and write that down. I can look at AVAX because it doesn't require me to go on deck screener. I don't even know if me saying deck screener could cause my live stream to go down. But yeah, if I have to go on deck screener, I can't do that for you, bro. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Sahara. And then we'll look at AVAX after that. I mean, if I can look it up on coin, if I can look it up on TradingView, then I'll take a look at it. But if I can't look it up on TradingView, then there's nothing I can do for you, bro. But we'll take a look at Sigma if I can on TradingView. But first we gotta look at Sahara and then AVAX. Thank you for the request, though. Alright, so let's see. Sahara on Coinbase Exchange? Okay. So is this a brand new coin? Sahara just got listed on Coinbase Exchange. This thing is trading at 7 cents right now, almost 8 cents. There's not much data I can do. There's not really anything I can do with this. Alright, we only been trading on Coinbase Exchange for about a week. I mean, what do you want me to do for analysis here? Maybe, has it been on another crypto exchange for a while? Let's see. We're trading at about roughly 8 pennies here. Let me see if I can find it on like Binance or Mexi or something like that. Yeah, this thing hasn't been around for that long. I can't do much with that Sahara coin. I mean, this right here just looks like a bull flag to me. Okay, you had your impulse move, and now you're trading sideways. And yeah, you can put your stop loss at like 7 pennies, and then hope that it doesn't get hit, and then maybe this thing goes up to higher prices. But that's all you're doing right now. I can't use any of my indicators or oscillators here. There's nothing. Everything's blank. This thing's only been around for about a week. But we'll move on to some other cryptocurrencies here. Let's take a look at AVAX. Where is AVAX? Avalanche. Alright. Avalanche. Currently trading at $20.63, up 5.7% today. Having a decent day. Avalanche has seen better days, though. I mean, I was in Avalanche back in November and December of last year. This thing was trading at like 50 bucks a coin. Now it's at $20 a coin. But I marked out this red line here as a line that has been previous support and resistance, candlewick tops and lows. I want to see Avalanche get above $24.74 for me to actually become bullish on Avalanche again. This has been the doldrums, right? We've already been through the apocalypse here on Avalanche, right? And now we need to try to climb back up and get to $24 again, which is basically where this 200-day moving average is sitting at. So get above that, and then I can start to flip from being bearish to bullish. But you are you're trying to make some progress here on Avalanche. That's good to see. Right now, this 100-day blue line here, this 100-day moving average could act as resistance. I think that's currently acting as resistance right now at $20.71. We've seen Avalanche at $20.75 today, so yeah, the TA is getting respected right now. I'm expecting maybe Avalanche to go sideways if we don't continue to go up. And maybe after creating some support at the $20 level, then we can try to launch up and go to that $24 level at some point. But yeah, there could be another 20% move up to the upside here for Avalanche. And that's just playing the moving averages here. You're going to go from the 100-day to the 200-day, and that's a 20% move right there. If you're bullish. Let me go ahead and click on the oscillators, see what the oscillators are doing. Right now, the RSI is at 61 on Avalanche. So you have the juice and the fuel in the rocket tank to go up to higher prices. MACD, you got the green candles here, so obviously that just validates that buyers are actually buying Avalanche right now. Stochastic RSI is high right now, but it can stay high until you actually start consolidating or go into lower prices and whatnot. But yeah, Avalanche looks like it could be heading towards $24 in my opinion, and get to $24, and then I can start being bullish on Avalanche again. But you can strategically place a stop loss if you are in an Avalanche long. You put your stop loss right below these two candles here at like $16.90. And if Avalanche is continuing to be bullish, then you'll never come back down here again. But if you do come back down here and you lose this higher low here, then there's something wrong with Avalanche and you probably want to stay away from it. But I'll put the stop loss right there if I was trading Avalanche or in it for the long term. Alright, let's try out this Sigma crypto. See if I can find it. Ooh, okay. I think I can find it here and on Kraken Exchange. So Sigma is currently trading at 2 cents. Current up 20% today. Is this a meme coin? Because if it is, then that probably explains why it's up 20% today. This thing has been on Kraken Exchange for a while now, since like February of 2025. We're just now getting some of the moving averages here. This thing has been trading sideways for a long time here. I mean, we caught some bids here in April. We had a low high here in May. Made a higher low here in the beginning of June. Then we actually made a higher high if you want to count this scam wick here. But we had a wick here to the upside. And when you see these wicks here, it just means that someone is clicking the sell button and pushing this price all the way back down. It could mean that there's a lot of resistance up top above you. But yeah, just create more solid green candles and get some follow through, and then maybe you could be catching some bids and going to higher prices on Sigma. I think right here at 0.027 pennies seems to be where you have a candle body close, another candle body opening here, and close at this level. Without me even turning the VRVP, I bet you there's probably like a point of control or a high volume node here. Let me go ahead and turn on that VRVP here. And let me just close this. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, we'll look at the VRVP here. You got a point of control that you just got above at 2 cents. And then you got a high volume node at like 0.0245. And then yeah, here we are. The value area high is currently sitting at 0.027 pennies. So I think if this thing continues going to higher prices here, yeah, you might get a little bit of resistance at 2.5 pennies. But most likely 0.027 pennies is where you'll get a lot more resistance. Just using the VRVP here. And then after that, it could be off to the races. This thing could be climbing up to higher prices here. Obviously, you saw, what, 4 cents back in June 12th here? So interesting. Very interesting cryptocurrency. I think it might be a meme coin, but very interesting. Is this like a cryptocurrency, like a meme coin on like the Sigma male? Because I see like, what's his name? Like the face of the coin is the guy from American Psycho. The guy that played Batman. I forgot what his name. Christopher something? I can't really think of the name. But you know, the guy who played Batman and in the newer Batman movies that just came out. Christian Bale. I think that's what it is. Christian Bale? Yeah. He's like the face of this coin right here. If you guys can see that. I don't know if you can see it. Christian Bale. Sigma coin. I think it's a play on words for like the Sigma. It's like the Sigma male coin, you know? The guy who doesn't need nobody. Doesn't need no guy or girl in his life. Yeah, I apologize for the screen freezing. Let me see if I go onto the Wi-Fi, maybe that might fix things here. But hey, where's my Wi-Fi? Come on. I might have to turn off my VPN. That might also be messing things up here. Let me see if I can do that real quick here for ya. Alright, so that should probably fix the internet connection right there. I'm just trying to see what you guys are saying in the comments here. Zinsky saying paper traders out here acting like they can withdraw monopoly money. Hey, paper trading is one way to get started. If you're day trading, before you blow up like a $10,000 account and start using $10,000 of your own money or whatever, I would suggest paper trading and doing like a demo account before you start doing day trading. B White, did you ask me about DGen? And then I think Isha is asking me about Render. Okay, we'll take a look at those coins. And I got a request here for Dogecoin. No, sorry, no, that's DGen coin. So we'll look at DGen. And we'll look at Render. And then Demon, you're asking me what's my guess on Ethereum in the next 6 months? I think Ethereum might hit new all-time highs. We might see a $5,000 Ethereum later on in the next 6 months here. Alright, let's see. And did I miss anything else here? Alright, let's see. Alright, yeah, we'll take a look at DGen and then Render. Appreciate the request. Don't forget the like button, guys. Oh, and then John just put a request in for Kronos. Yeah, we're gonna look at that. Thank you, John. How you doing, John? And yeah, don't forget to smash the like button, guys, if you haven't done so already. Let's look at DGen. DGen currently trading at 0.0045 pennies, up 10% today. I got the VRVP here showing us where the high volume nodes might be at. We just had a POC. The highest volume node is this blue line here at roughly 0.004 pennies. So we're already past that, and then you can see that we have a gap in the VRVP, and we might not get resistance until we get to like 0.0055 pennies or even like 0.006 pennies. But I also see like the beginning of a 200-day moving average down the forum here, and that red line, this 200-day moving average, is sitting at 0.0048 pennies. So that could be where you get your resistance at, maybe. But I think 0.055 and 0.06 should be where the resistance is going to be for DGen coin. So you can make that your take profit 1 and take profit 2. If we get up and we get rejected and we come back down for whatever reason, I think this POC at 0.004 is going to hold finally as support before we launch up and go to higher prices on DGen. But I wouldn't be surprised if we just never come back down to this point of control anymore, and we just start launching ourselves up to 0.006 pennies, and that'd be what, like a 33% gainer from where we are right now. Yeah. And then you got the value or high saying that there's some people that want to click the sell button when this thing gets up to like 0.0085 pennies, but by that point you doubled your money on this asset. You should be clicking the sell button along with the people that want to do that as well. I'm just trying to zoom out. I'm trying to figure out why is that value or high. Like, wow, 0.008 pennies. Just don't forget to sell something. Sell a little bit of your DGen when you get to that point, because you're basically doubling your money, and anytime you double your money, you should be taking some profits, no matter what asset you're in. But yeah, DGen, you know, I see higher low. You try to make a higher high back here in May. Maybe you're able to revisit that high again and come out to 0.085 pennies, and then I would probably call it a day's work, a day's pay after you doubled your money on DGen, because I don't know if it's going to continue going up higher after that. But if it does, I mean, maybe you let a little bit ride, a little bit of your position ride higher to see if it does get past 0.085 pennies. So that's DGen in a nutshell. Let's take a look at Randa. I'm curious, how is Bitcoin doing right now? Are we still making new all-time highs? Not really. We're at $116,000 Bitcoin. Ethereum's at 29.76. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep pushing up higher going into rest of tonight. I feel like some people are getting back home from work and they're looking at Bitcoin right now and Ethereum, and they're like, "Oh my god, I need to go buy crypto again." I need to go buy some more. Payday's tomorrow, right? I gotta go buy some more tomorrow. All right, so we're looking at Render. Render's currently trading at $3.67, up 9.5% today. And I got the VRVP, why not? I got the VRVP showing us some data here. We have a POC highest volume node above us at $4.50. I'm expecting that to be where Render gets, you know, some resistance. Probably other people are going to be out there selling their Render when it gets up to that level, just to break even. For those who have been in it and can't stand it no more. You actually got another high volume node, kind of like where you are right now, at like $3.80, $3.90. But once you get past like $4, there's a gap in the VRVP, and you won't get much resistance until you get to like $4.50. But then once you get past $4.50, once again the volume drops off, and you could see Render come up to like $5.25 here before it gets some resistance, and then you got the value area high sitting at like basically $6, $5.97 to be exact. So there are some upward resistance levels here based off the high volume nodes here on the VRVP, and of course the POC at 450. I would target 450 right now if I was in a long on Render right now. All right. Yep, I'm still here, TikTok. TikTok does these reminders. You know, if you've been live for a while, they're like, "Hey, are you still there?" And I gotta let them know that I'm still here. All right, Clips is asking me, what is my top 3 altcoins that will do very good this season? You know, everybody has their varied opinions here, okay? And there's reasons to get into certain coins and reasons to stay away from certain coins here. I think Render could be one of your coins that you could put in your top 3 here. Only because like it's already been beaten down, and you just strategically put a stop loss at like $2.50 here. And if it doesn't get hit, then that means you're probably doing all right. If it gets hit, then that probably means you don't want to stay in Render. But yeah, we did see Render at higher prices at like $10 in December of 2024 here. So Render could be one. Another coin that I really like, that I have my biggest altcoin bag, I have a lot of Solana. Okay, I think Solana's going to do well. Solana's currently at $164. I think this coin can get up to like $300. It almost got up to $300 in January. I think it might try to do that later on this year and actually make it official. $300 Solana. Sui's another one that's one of my favorites as well. That's my second biggest bag for altcoins is Sui. Sui is a layer 1 coin, so is Solana, and they're like one of the fastest coins out there and cheapest to use. So I think they have a future just because they're so fast and cheap to use. There will be a lot of people building off of the Sui ecosystem and Solana ecosystem as well. So I guess Solana and Sui are like my top 2 altcoins in my opinion. And then for a third one, you could try to look at maybe XRP. I think XRP eventually will probably make it to $5 later on this year. And right now it's currently at $2.50. I think that could be a double for XRP. AVAX is also a really good coin that I was in, but I'm not in it anymore. I decided to buy more Sui instead of AVAX. Aptos is another good one. Take a look at Aptos chart, right? Aptos is pretty much bottom out as well. I actually do have some Aptos myself. I think Aptos is a good one. And you can strategically place your stop loss right here at like $3.70. And if this thing if you get stopped out, then there's something wrong with Aptos. But if not, I mean, the upside, look at the upside potential for Aptos right now. If you get past $6.25, there's a big gap in the VRVP. And then you're talking about like maybe $8 or $9 Aptos. Maybe even $10 at this value area high. I think Aptos could double your money as well. Isha, you saying that you traded Sui and you found that there was like a lot of manipulation? That's interesting. I think some of these assets, they all have their own forms of manipulation, but I'm not sure what you mean by manipulation, because sometimes you think it's manipulation, but it's really the market is respecting a level. One of these moving averages could be a level that is getting respecting and getting support or resistance off of. And then also the VRVP with the high volume nodes. I mean, that's why I use all of it. I use the VRVP, I use moving averages, I also use Fibonacci as well in my technical analysis, and sometimes those are the levels that you need to be looking for, especially when you have 2 of them agreeing with each other, or 3 of them. Like right now you got the POC, the highest volume node here on Aptos at like $4.89, but you also have the 50-day at like $4.96. So there's going to be probably some resistance for Aptos in the near future at the $4.90 level, which you're already at right now. And then you got a fib level here, like $4.83. So between $4.80 and $4.90 is going to be probably some tough resistance for Aptos to get through. But yeah, that's what I like looking at. I like looking at all these indicators here. And I know my buddy John requested Chronos, so let me go ahead and do that for him. before I start going off on a tangent here. But I hope that answers your question. There's a lot of good cryptos. Basically, those cryptos that I just mentioned, especially like Sui and Solana, and the layer 1 coins, the top 10, top 20 layer 1 coins are good coins to get into, in my opinion. Alright, Chronos. But there's so many coins out there, it's to say your top 3. I mean, don't forget to put Bitcoin in there, because Bitcoin does go up before the other coins do, so you can make money off of Bitcoin and then pour it into something else that you like after you already made your money on Bitcoin. Alright, so now we're looking at Chronos. Chronos is currently trading at 0.099 pennies, almost 10 cents. Was this thing at 10 cents earlier today? Oh no, not yet. But we'll look at the VRVP here. And what do we got here? We got the POC sitting at 10 cents. Okay, so there's probably going to be some resistance. That's probably why this thing hasn't gone up to 10 cents yet. But you do have 10 cents as your level to be looking out for here on Chronos. And I just, I've already marked on the chart here, if Chronos, can get past 10 cents here, then the next level that it needs to get above is probably going to be at this 11.5 cent level, which is where we had some candlewick tops back in March. Some body candle closes here. So I think 11.5 cents is the target for you to be looking for if you're bullish on Chronos. If it can get past 10 cents, which it looks like it wants to do that right now while we're looking at the charts. You also got the 2-day moving average. Look at this. Let me get rid of the VRVP for now. But the 2-day moving average is going to try to come in and provide resistance at 10 cents. So I think you're going to stay at 10 cents on Chronos. Unless you get a lot more money pouring into it, 10 cents is probably where this thing is just going to go sideways for a little bit before it tries to go up to higher prices. Or you might get rejected at 10 cents, come back down. Maybe it's like the green moving average here at 9 cents, this 50-day moving average, and then try to shoot up and go to higher prices. Yeah, that's my analysis there on Chronos. Let's see, the RSI is at 68. You're almost getting close to topping out here on the RSI too. See this RSI here is wow, it's at 68. Once you get to like 70 on the RSI, you are overbought on that asset. So yeah, this is what the RSI looks like for Chronos. It's at like 70, almost 70 now. But it could probably go a little bit higher. I think Chronos is going to get above 10 cents in the near future here. Probably later on tonight or tomorrow. And you said Chronos was on a big boy move yesterday? I think that you meant like Tuesday. Yeah, Chronos went up 20% on Tuesday. It's a pretty decent move. But let's get back into Bitcoin here. I think I'm about to finish up this live stream. Appreciate the requests that you guys had today. I think we had a pretty good live stream. It's good to see that Bitcoin's at $116,000, blowing people's minds away again. And yeah, just getting into Bitcoin here. We saw Bitcoin almost get to like $117,000 here on Coinbase Exchange. I think that might happen later on tonight, going into tomorrow. And yeah, I think $120,000 Bitcoin is going to be a psychological number, but it's also a number that we looked at on the Fibonacci. Right? If I did, quick Fibonacci again one more time, measuring from $112,000 down to the swing low here at $98,000. You see we have a 1618 at $120,000 Bitcoin. I think that's where people are going to start clicking the sell button on their Bitcoin. And then also we have a 2618 that says we could see $133,000 Bitcoin. That could happen later on this month or later on in the summer. I think we will see $130,000 Bitcoin at some point in 2025. But I think first we got to see if we can make it up to 120 grand, which is only $4,000 away. And we went up $4,700 today, so that could literally happen tomorrow. We could see $120,000 Bitcoin. If we just did the same thing that we did today, we'll be at $120,000 tomorrow. All right, and I got somebody here asking about XRP real quick. We'll take a look at XRP, and then I think that's going to be it for this live stream. XRP currently trading at $2.55, up 6% today. And XRP is threatening to go to even higher prices here because we haven't seen XRP this high since like May of 2025 here, like the middle of May when we saw Bitcoin go up to 112 grand for the first time. Get past this resistance here, show us that you're making higher highs, and then oh my god, it could be off to the races for XRP. We could see like a $3 XRP real quick after that, and then maybe even like a $4 XRP. But let me just go ahead and turn on that VRVP real quick so you can see why I'm a little bit excited about XRP right now. Okay, we're above the point of control here, this blue line here at $2.40, and then the volume starts to drop off as we go to higher prices here, and you probably won't see that much resistance until you get to like 280 for some reason. Yeah, we got some candlewick closes here back in February, so we might see 280 before we see $3. But yeah, I think XRP is on its way to heading to 280 and $3. And now you're above the 200-day moving average. Right now, that 200-day moving average is at $2.36. You got above it yesterday, and then closed above it, so that was good. And then that just meant that we can go to higher prices, and we got some follow through here. So yeah, you're above the 200-day moving average on XRP. So congratulations to XRP. I don't think Solana could say that. I don't think Sui could say that. Ethereum also got above its 200-day moving average. So congratulations to Ethereum investors. Ugh, I got so much chart work here. I should probably get on another Ethereum chart here. I even got chart work on this one too. Jesus. Let me try another one here. Oh, right, I got chart work all over the place on Ethereum. It's because I trade Ethereum a lot. But yeah, Ethereum is also above its 200-day moving average. This red line. I want to see if Solana is able to be. Is Solana? Oh, Solana's threatening. Wow, Solana's actually getting right to it. $164, $65 Solana. Yes, I feel like Solana and XRP and these other altcoins, they're going to start getting some more love now that they're starting to get above their 200-day moving averages. And we all know Bitcoin's clearly above its 200-day moving average, making new all-time highs. Yeah. Let's just keep up the good work here, guys. Let's not lose the momentum. I don't know what could derail the markets, but it looks like we're getting this altcoin season in the summer, when usually it's supposed to be a slow time of the year for crypto and the stock market. I think because we had positive news about the tariffs, the deadline got pushed back till August, and then we're also finding out what they're actually going to do with tariffs. Some of these countries are going to get like 20% tariffs. I think that's making the big money, the banks and institutions, more comfortable in putting money into crypto in the stock market. But yeah, that's going to be it for this live stream, guys. Be on the lookout for my next live stream. Let's plan on seeing me go live here on Sunday, because tomorrow I got some things I want to do, and Saturday's also going to be a busy day for me as well. So we'll plan on seeing each other here on a Sunday live stream. I usually go live early on Sundays, so maybe 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time here. But yeah, that's a nice number to see. $116,000 Bitcoin. We'll end off on that good note there. Take care, guys.